we have here is yet another laptop that was both of free and that I don't really know what I'm going to do with just yet. I do have a plan that we will try and enact in this video, but at least for now I want to have a little hardware overview. You can see it says Dell. You can also see that the battery seems to be completely dead. It's a pretty small laptop. Here's the battery. If we go ahead and we take a look here, you can see there's an infrared port there. Looks like 2 USB, although I'm not really sure what that is, if that's actually USB or if that's something else. There's the DC input. It's got VGA, 2 more USB ports. There's a modem and Ethernet, headphone microphone, and a single PCMCIA card slot. I believe that accepts Type 2. Normally, if you've got 2, it's 2 Type 2, 1 Type 3, but this is only for Type 2. This is where the hard drive goes. If you go ahead and open it, see that it is a Latitude D410. Now, Latitude D410, I do not believe is technically classified as a sub-notebook, but I think maybe it might qualify. It has a 12-inch display, which is pretty small for a laptop. And you may have noticed when I was going around the machine, there's no optical drive, there's no floppy drive. It is just the hard drive, and that rounds out the count of spinning media on this machine. So I believe it technically qualifies as a sub-notebook. But I'm not 100% sure, so if somebody wants to clarify that, they can certainly do so. What it is it's a very ultra-portable laptop computer. What this would have probably been used for at work, which is where this came from, is for going to network racks and communicating with network switches and things like that. But, you know, we got better laptops for that now. So, and given that this has no battery, the battery doesn't work, well, that really kind of limits its usefulness. We're going to power it up. We'll go into the setup utility here, just so we can take a look at what it's running. Probably does have an updated BIOS. I'm not too sure on that. You can see the information. It doesn't have the fastest available processor. I think you could go up to 2 GHz with these, but a 1.73 GHz Pentium-M was still pretty decent. It's got 1 GB of RAM. It does say single channel. This does not support dual channel memory operation, which is kind of an unfortunate limitation. But it is a limitation, I suppose. It's a 60 GB hard drive. There is no D-Bay device. This doesn't actually have a D-Bay, so that's a thing, insofar as I know. 1024 by 768 native resolution, so a little low, but pretty acceptable for a 12-inch display, with 915 graphics. So pretty standard stuff. You probably won't see a 130-watt AC adapter type on this very often. This is my large power adapter because that's just what happened to be laying around. It says it's 100% charged, which obviously is untrue because I'm sure if I unplug it, it'll shut off. The date and time is wrong. Well, it's actually probably correct, but it's set up for Linux, so that's going to be UTC. Pretty standard stuff. I'm not sure if this actually would support booting over the network. I guess we can find out. But everything seems to be pretty standard. No on. Does support Wake on LAN, which is neat. Adapter warnings, I'm turning that off because those are useless. Everything seems to be pretty standard, though. So, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and save and exit. And I'm going to hit F12. Let's see if we can actually... Well, the focus is gone now. Let's see if we can boot over PXE on this thing. Hey, check it out. It actually will boot over the network. Saves me having to make a USB stick. I am going to install Linux. I'm going to try and install Linux Mint Debian Edition. And we'll see if we can install the latest version. I'm not sure if we can. I'm not sure if this requires the physical address extension or not. I know the CPU won't have that if it does. But we might as well try it, because what do you get for not trying, right? So we'll see if it'll actually manage to boot that. Okay. So we use the trackpad, or we could also use the little nipple mouse, the eraser head, which is impressively jacked up. We're going to go ahead and install. I've already committed to this. I don't know what's on the hard drive. I hope it's not anything important. Welcome to the LMDE installer. Alright. We'll hit next. We are English, obviously. This time zone is actually correct. Keyboard layout is not French. Well, that's kind of dumb. You'd think it'd be able to do that on its own. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. Okay, erase disk. Yes. I'd rather it not use logical volume management, but I guess I don't really have a choice. This will delete all data. Sure. Don't really care. Install the Grub menu on SDA. Let's see, what options do you get? SDA. Should go to the MBR. We'll hit next. LVM is disabled now for some reason. Whatever. Everything should be good. We'll just hit install, and hopefully it will just work. Partition table couldn't be written. Well, that's dumb. Typical Linux. Is it gonna work this time? Hey, something happened. Maybe. Looks like it's actually working now. I think I remember somebody mentioning that Linux Mint Debian Edition was extremely rough around the edges. Which I do not necessarily disagree with. That's the first time I've ever had to go in and manually partition a drive before being able to run the installer. That's just annoying. But if it works, I guess that's good enough for me. Hey, finally, do you want to reboot? Yes, please do. Let's watch as it takes forever to restart. Definitely not the fastest thing to boot. I think it was actually a little bit faster over the network, which is kind of counterintuitive, but whatever. It might actually be faster to go over the network if that's a gigabit network connection that this thing would have to the Ethernet. So I think that would be faster than whatever the ATA bus runs at. Alright, the audio works, it's really quiet. Make it a little bit louder. So I don't care about that dialogue. Looks like everything is good to go. I'm gonna have to configure my network. Wireless is working. Neat. So I'll connect it to that, then we'll get the updates going. Oh, look at that. Errors in the install process. That's pretty typical. Well, whatever. Sure, we'll just install everything. You might as well. Not really sure if the wireless is working or not because the light's not on. It says it's working. And it looks like it's probably working. And of course, now there's update hell that we need to go through. Alright, so that should be pretty much it for that. So the computer is now up and running. And I don't think there's a whole lot else I need to say about it. I'm not sure why the wireless light doesn't actually work. It was working for a while, and then I rebooted it, and now it doesn't work again, so I don't know what's up with that, but it does have wireless, so like I could go on the internet and do all that. Assuming Firefox will actually run on this CPU. Which it may or may not, I don't know. Obviously there's not much online that you're going to be able to do with this thing, because it's just an old Pentium M, but it works. Yeah, Firefox opens. So, that's good. Here you can see... yeah, it's definitely connected to the internet, otherwise that wouldn't load. So, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And there'll be more computer videos coming. I've certainly got plenty of them. And plenty more where that came from. Lots of computer videos. So, hopefully you like the computer videos. I don't know. Some people want to see other things, but this is a variety channel, and computers seem to be what I've got the most of right now, so... we'll see what comes down the pipeline later.